YouTube channel, English section, and welcome to our communicative grammar. And now we are continuing with the topic 2, which is looking at English parts of speech. And now we are moving to lesson 2, which is pronoun. Lesson 2, which is pronoun. So we are aware of what a pronoun is as a word that is used instead that is used instead of a noun. For example, you could say Philemon is a nice teacher. Philemon is a nice teacher. So then you could replace the noun Philemon with the word he and get the following sentence. He is a nice teacher. He is a nice teacher. Instead of Philemon is nice teacher. You can now say he is a nice teacher. So he is a pronoun. He is a pronoun. Now, examples of pronouns are as follows. I, he, it, we, them, us, mine, itself. These are examples of what pronouns are. So let us see them in example sentences. Like you can say, he doesn't want to go with them. He doesn't want to go with them. Number 2, would they help us? Would they help us? Number 3, his house is bigger than ours. His house is bigger than ours. Who is she? Who is she? So in the first sentence, we have 2 pronouns, he and them. In the second one, we have also 2 pronouns, they and us. In the third sentence, we have 2 pronouns, his and ours. And also in the last sentence, we have 2 pronouns, and they are who and she. So when we talk about the word pronoun comes from the word pro, yes, meaning substitute, plus noun. So pro meaning substitute, then noun. So noun substitution or substitute of a noun. That's how I can explain it. So we have different types of pronouns. We have different types of pronouns. The first one is what we call personal pronouns. Personal pronouns. So what are personal pronouns? Personal pronouns represent people or things. Personal pronouns represent people or things. So the personal pronouns are, for example, I, you, he, she, it, we, they, me, him, her, us, them. Those are examples of personal pronouns. Personal pronouns. Let us move to the second type of pronouns. And we are talking about demonstrative pronouns. We are talking about demonstrative pronouns, meaning to demonstrate, to demonstrate. So, what do we mean by demonstrative? Demonstrative means showing, to show something, to demonstrate, it's to show, meaning making something clear, making something clear. That is demonstrative. So we are saying that demonstrative pronouns point to things, meaning demonstrative pronouns will point at things, those that are near and those even that are far. So the demonstrative pronouns are as follows: this, singular; that, singular; this, plural; those, plural. So use this with I and this with S, with E, yeah, to talk about things that are near in space or in time. Things that are near in space and time. But use that and those to talk about things that are far away in space and time. So we are saying you use this with the I, singular; this with the E, plural, on things that are near you in space or in time. And you use that and those on things that are far in space and in time. So example sentences, you can say, this cannot go on, this cannot go on. So you are referring on something that is now or is near. Okay? Or you can say, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. You are showing something that is fun. That was beautiful. But also in time, in the past tense. Yesterday, what I saw, yeah, that was beautiful. What you did yesterday, that was beautiful. Or you can also say, he wanted those, but decided to compromise on this. He wanted those, but he decided to compromise on this. Pronoun type 3 is what we call interrogative pronouns. From interrogate, meaning to ask. So the pronouns we use when we are asking questions, when we are inquiring of something. So interrogative means used in questions. Interrogative means used in questions. So what are we trying to say here? Interrogative pronouns are used to ask questions. So I'm saying interrogative pronouns are used to ask questions. So the interrogative pronouns are, for example, who, whom, which, what, whoever, whatever, etc. So use who and whom when you are talking about people. Use whom, who, and whom when you are talking about people. But use which and what when you are talking about things. Use which and what when you are talking about things. When you are talking about things. So, example sentences, you can say, who is your father? Number 2, whom did you speak to? Now, let me give some difference between who and whom. Like the Americans no longer use whom more often. But the British still use both who and whom. Like they can ask, okay, so who takes the subject aspect? Who is your father? But whom takes the object aspect? Whom were you talking to? Let us go to which. Which bag did you buy? Which bag did you buy? What are my choices? What are my choices? So those are what we call interrogative pronouns, meaning pronouns that help us to ask questions. And therefore we are saying that we use who and whom on people. We use which and what on things. So let us move to another type of pronouns, which we call possessive pronouns. Possessive means to own. That is, it shows ownership. What you possess, what you own, and that is possessive pronoun. So I'm saying that possessive pronouns indicate that something belongs to somebody or something. Something belongs to something, something belonging to somebody. So the possessive pronouns are, for example, my. I can say my car, your house, his baby, her, its, our, her book, it's our legs, or are, no, its legs, its legs, its legs, meaning the legs belongs to it. Our home, our, their, mine, yours, his, hers, ours, and theirs. So let us look at example sentences, meaning how we can use these possessive pronouns in sentences. Sentence 1, I've lost my wallet. I've lost my wallet. I've lost my wallet. Number 2, he married his girlfriend. He married his girlfriend. Number 3, this place is theirs. This place is theirs. Number 4, is that cat yours? Is that cat yours? Number 5, my car is slow. Hers is much faster. My car is slow. Hers is much faster. Hers. Then my car, hers. So let us move to another type of pronouns that we call relative pronouns. Relative pronouns. Relative pronouns. So relative means connected with something. And we have relatives. It means these are people who are connected to us. So relative pronouns are pronouns that link different parts of a sentence. Relative pronouns are pronouns that link different parts of a sentence. So the relative pronouns are who, whom, which, that, whoever. Now, when you look at relative pronouns, and you look at what we looked up here, interrogative pronouns, you can see some interrogative pronouns are appearing in the relative pronouns. So let us look at example sentences. The girl who called yesterday came to see you. The girl who called yesterday came to see you. The teacher whom you wrote has answered your questions. The teacher whom you wrote has answered your questions. She lives in Kiev, which is the capital city of Ukraine. She lives in Kiev, which is the capital city of Ukraine. I really liked the book that you gave me. I really liked the book that you gave me. So I want to say something here. We use who and whom on people. We use which and what. No, we use which on things, but we use that on both people and things. You can say that boy, you can say that come, but you can only say which come. You cannot say which person, which come. Let us now move to another example, reflexive pronouns. Reflexive pronouns. Reflexive means going back to itself. Going back to itself. That is reflexive. Sometimes somebody would ask you, can you reflect on yourself? Can you reflect on what you have said? Meaning go back and talk more about what you have already mentioned. So reflexive pronouns show that the action affects the person who performs the action. Well, listen to me. Reflexive pronouns show that the action affects the person who performs the action. We are aware that subject performs an action which affects the object. But in this case, we are seeing the subject performing an action which affects itself. So, reflexive pronouns end in self, singular or selves, plural. Self, singular, selves, plural. The reflexive pronouns are, for example, myself, yourself, himself, themselves, itself, ourselves. Those are examples of reflexive pronouns. So let us look at some example sentences that will help us to understand the usage of these reflexive pronouns. Like you can say, he cut himself while shaving. He cut himself while shaving. I sent myself to bed. I sent myself to bed. He could hurt himself. He could hurt himself. We must help ourselves. We must help ourselves. She trusts herself. She does what? She trusts herself. Let us move to another type of pronouns, the one we call intensive pronouns. Intensive pronouns. Intensive pronouns behave like reflexive pronouns, but the aspect of stress is what comes out conspicuously. So let us look at it. Intensive means giving force or emphasis. Intensive means giving emphasis or force. So, an intensive pronoun is a pronoun used for emphasis. In other words, intensive pronouns emphasize the subject of the sentence, not the object, but the subject of the sentence. They are written exactly the same way as the reflexive pronouns, but their function is different. So they are just written exactly like reflexive pronouns, but their function is now different. Take, for example, I myself baked the cake. So we are saying here that the intensive pronoun, which is the same as the reflexive pronouns, it comes immediately after the pronoun. It comes immediately after the pronoun. I myself baked the cake. The queen herself recommended this restaurant. The queen herself recommended this restaurant. Have you yourself been there? Have you yourself been there? The project itself, difficult. The project itself wasn't difficult. We will do it ourselves. We will do it ourselves. Let us move to another example of pronouns, which we call indefinite pronouns, meaning a pronoun that is general. General, it's not specific. Yeah, it's not specific. Indefinite pronouns. So what are we saying here? What are we saying here? We are saying something very, very important. But what is it that we are saying? We are saying that indefinite means not exact, not limited. Not exact, not limited, meaning general. So indefinite pronouns are pronouns that do not refer to any specific person or thing. Indefinite pronouns are pronouns that do not refer to any specific person or thing. Examples: anything, everybody, another, each, few, many, none, some. So you can say, I don't have any, do you have anything? Anything, everybody. So example sentences: many have died during the war. Many have died during the war. Sentence number 2. Can anyone call her? Can anyone call her? Number 3. Everybody wants to see you. Everybody wants to see you. Last sentence. Something can be done to help. Something can be done to help. Yes. So there is many, anyone, everybody, something, and these are indefinite pronouns. Now, after looking at different types of pronouns, let us now move forward. Let us proceed to functions of pronouns. You remember when I was looking at nouns, I also looked at different functions of nouns. So they are similar to pronouns. Why are they similar? It is because pronouns only but replaces or represents nouns. So what are we saying here? We're saying pronouns have the same grammatical functions as nouns. Pronouns function as subject of a verb, object of a verb, subject complement, object complement, and complement of preposition. So those are 5 to 6 functions of pronouns. So we start with number 1. The first function of pronouns, subject of a verb, meaning a pronoun can be a subject of a verb. A pronoun functions as a subject of a verb when it occupies the position of the subject. It functions as the subject of the verb that follows it. For example, they played the match with enthusiasm. They played the match with enthusiasm. So they functions as the subject of the verb played. They functions as the subject of the verb played. Sentence 2, she is very pompous. She is very pompous. She functions as the subject of the verb is. She functions as the subject of the verb is. Let us go to the second function of a pronoun. A pronoun functions as an object of a verb. How? A pronoun functions as the object of a verb when it occupies the position of an object and comes immediately after the verb. Examples. Example 1, the minister drives himself. The minister drives himself. You can see himself is coming immediately after drives. So, himself functions as the object of the verb, as the object of the verb drives. Sentence 2. Mary bought herself a nice dress. Mary bought herself a nice dress. So herself is coming immediately after bought. So herself functions as the object of the verb bought. I'm saying herself functions as the object of the verb bought. Function number 3 of pronouns. They function as subject complement, meaning they tell us more about the subject. How? A pronoun functions as the subject complement when it completes the meaning of the subject by giving additional information. It gives additional information about the subject. For example, number 1, the beautiful house is ours. The beautiful house is ours. Beautiful house. When you just say the beautiful house, somebody will ask you what? But when you say the beautiful house is ours completes the sentence and therefore it gives additional information needed to complete the sentence. So, the beautiful house is the subject and the pronoun. Ours refers to the beautiful house. It therefore completes the meaning of the subject. It therefore completes the meaning of the subject. Example 2, the book is mine. The book is mine. The book is the subject and the pronoun. And the pronoun, yeah. So mine, mine, pronoun mine refers to the book. It therefore completes the meaning of the subject. So it complements the subject. Function 4 of pronouns. Function 4 of pronouns. A pronoun can function as object complement, meaning it tells us more about the object in the sentence. How? A pronoun functions as the object complement when it occurs immediately after the object in the sentence. Immediately after the object. So this pronoun should come immediately after the object, and the object in this case can be either a noun or a pronoun. For example, she gave us hers. She gave us hers. So us in this sentence, us in this sentence is an object, and in this case an indirect object. And hers, which is coming immediately after us, is a pronoun which is complementing the object us. So hers functions as the complement of the object us. Example 2, the visitors gave me sweets. No, the visitors gave them to me. The visitors gave them to me. The visitors gave them to me. So, them and me. Them, pronoun, me, indirect object. Indirect object. Yes, sorry. It's an emergency here. Yes. Now let us move to function 5. Function 5. Function 5. A pronoun functions as a complement of a preposition, meaning it gives more information about a preposition. Yeah. So a pronoun functions as complement of preposition when it follows a preposition in the sentence. So whenever a pronoun follows a preposition immediately, then it functions as a complement of that preposition. Example, the water was kept for her. The water was kept for her. So you can see for is a preposition, then her is a pronoun. So her functions as the complement of the preposition for. Example 2, where a pronoun complements a preposition. The teacher asked them to stand against the wall. The teacher asked them to stand against the wall. So the wall functions as the complement of the preposition against. You can see the wall is coming immediately after the preposition against. So let me stand up and stretch my legs. So what I'm saying is that we've been looking at pronouns. We've said that pronouns will represent or will be used instead of nouns. Instead of repeating nouns all the time, you can make use of pronouns. They reduce the tendency of repetition, which becomes boring. Saying Philemon came in, Philemon sat down, Philemon did this, Philemon did that. So you can see the importance of pronouns. And we have looked at different types of pronouns. After that, we have looked at the functions of pronouns, meaning pronouns have different types of functions, and the way we have seen in sentences. And therefore, we've been very much concerned about looking at the structure of the sentence, looking at everything that is happening, and making sure that we get it right, we get it on the point. So I have come to the end of this lesson, which was pronouns. So as I told you, here we are not just mentioning, we are really going into to synthesize, if not to analyze whatever we are looking at. And that is when I say that communicative grammar is an advanced grammar. And therefore, if you have basic grammar and you follow me on this YouTube channel, please subscribe and become my follower so that whenever I produce videos, you get notification and you follow me chronologically. Because when you follow me chronologically, the ideas I'm giving out will also be stored in your head chronologically, yeah, in what we call, it will be stored chronologically, and therefore, any other time you are trying to retrieve that information, you find it is properly arranged, and therefore, there is no confusion caused. So, thank you very much. If for the first time you are watching my video, I just request you kindly subscribe, and if you like my videos, please just thumb it up, and I will know that I'm doing some good work for you people. I have you in mind, and that's why in a voluntary way, I want to make sure that you get English from where you are, whether you are in school, college, university, or you are at home, wherever you are, you should be able to learn. Learning can be done from anywhere and everywhere. Therefore, thank you very much for listening to me, watching my videos, watching my lesson. I look forward to meet you in the next lesson. I look forward to meeting you. I look forward meeting you